What's up, guys? Kevin Cage here with another crypto update. I hope everybody had an amazing Thanksgiving with your loved ones. I am back in Chicago for a little bit longer and then I'll be back. So currently working on the laptop, so hopefully the audio is okay. Got about a week away from YouTube, so it was a much needed break. My first crypto video was actually uploaded in 2017. And then of course I got a lot more active in 2018. So it's been nice to step away a bit. I'm still active and working on other things and keeping up with all of the news, and yeah, still scrolling through crypto Twitter. So let's kick off today's video. We're going to dive into some XRP news, some big things going on with the company Ripple. We'll talk about Casper, and if we have time, we'll go over some HBAR and ALGO news as well, and really just crypto news as a whole. So first up, we are on livenet.xrpl.org. We can see the average transaction fee for XRP denominated right there. We can see right here for the average ledger interval on the XRP ledger, 3.65 seconds. If you go over to Binance Academy, you can better understand finality, and this is very important to understand. Finality is the assurance or guarantee that crypto transactions cannot be altered, reversed, or canceled after they're completed. The latency level of a blockchain will ultimately affect the chain's finality rate. Finality is used to measure the amount of time one has to wait for a reasonable guarantee that crypto transactions executed on the blockchain will not be reversed. In other words, they will not be lost. And remember, as more businesses and enterprises are beginning to leverage crypto for liquidity and accept them as a means of payment right here, when creating a payment system to be effective, it is crucial to have low latency. For example, if you were to have to wait 10 minutes every time you wish to purchase anything, it would quickly become very inconvenient to go shopping. Also, in the financial sector, companies need to know within the shortest possible time frame if they own certain assets. So when it comes to blockchain tech, or really DLT as a whole, transactions are termed immutable due to its finality nature, meaning that it cannot be changed or reversed once it's confirmed. However, most blockchain protocols only show a probabilistic transaction finality. Man, the longer I'm in Puerto Rico, the worse my English gets. Probabilistic. Probabilistic, there we go. Meaning that transactions are not automatically or instantly final, but become more and more final over time, gradually as more blocks are confirmed. So when you're looking at different networks, we can see right here, we have Bitcoin, BNB, and EOS for the average time per block, 10 minutes. We can see BNB is 1 second, and EOS is about half a second to 1 second. But the average time to finality is entirely different. This requires confirmations. In Bitcoin's case, about 6 confirmations for finality, and that could take 1 hour. And the XRP ledger is providing everything you need to know. It is transparent. There are all types of tools to get insight into this because it is a decentralized public network. Now, of course, from time to time, I do critique Solana because they advertise, different levels of TPS. Then they increase their supply without telling people. So just beware of different projects that are saying that their, TPS is 100,000 transactions per second because there's always trade-offs in the blockchain trilemma. So here's a quick example of the blockchain trilemma. We can see security, decentralization, and speed. Blockchains are often forced to make trade-offs that prevent them from achieving all three aspects. We can see decentralized, referring to creating a blockchain or system that does not rely on a central point of control. As we know, centralized systems actually have higher scalability and higher throughput because it's the one central authority that does not have to get confirmation and go through hundreds, if not thousands of nodes. Scalable or scalability is the ability for a blockchain system to handle an increasingly growing amount of transactions. So when we discuss the XRP ledger or Casper's blockchain, we always want to be focused on scalability and also understand that in the future, when adoption does come at scale, when more dApps are built on these networks and they're being used at scale by enterprises, we don't want a growing user base leading to a growing amount of transactions to bottleneck the system or break it and slow it down. And lastly, security, the ability of a blockchain system to operate as expected, defend itself from attacks, bugs, and other unforeseen issues. So that is the blockchain trilemma, trying to basically get the best of all three worlds, decentralizing it, which of course is harder and that will actually lower the scalability or make it a challenge, and you want to increase that scalability and throughput so it can process a growing amount of transactions and scale as the networks get bigger. And as the network grows, becoming more and more decentralized, and then of course with a growing user base and more transactions becoming more scalable, how do you also ensure the security of the system, which is getting harder to manage the bigger it gets? So you'll notice some networks actually offer sharding. And what is sharding? It's basically partitioning a certain part of the network. Say there's 100 nodes. Well, let's focus on these 3 nodes to basically partition off and process this number of transactions here so that they can batch those transactions in a single area and they don't have to go through all of the nodes for confirmation. The good thing with sharding is, one, it increases scalability because it focuses on a smaller part partitioning the network. But guess what? From a security standpoint, it's a lot easier to hack a smaller part of the network rather than trying to take over the entire network. So if you want a faster network, you could be giving up security and then exposing yourself and leading to future risks. So for anybody brand new, that is what is referred to as the blockchain trilemma. And of course, that's just scratching the surface. You could watch hours of videos on YouTube really diving into the blockchain trilemma. So if anybody has better analogies or maybe wants to improve on a point or correct me with anything I said going over the blockchain trilemma, please comment down below. But overall, for Bitcoin, guys, it takes about 10 minutes for a block to be solved on the blockchain and up to 1 hour or 60 minutes for that probabilistic finality, whereas the XRP ledger takes 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 6 seconds for transactions to be sorted, agreed, and added to the blockchain. And yes, this goes for international payments as well. Now, I guess if you consider ODL on-demand liquidity, there are users that are maybe clicking and adding some banking information like that, so you could add a couple minutes. But when all is said and done, if you think 2 to 3 minutes for a cross-border transaction rather than today, which takes 2 to 3 days, I think it's a no-brainer. And then, of course, the huge added benefits of getting rid of pre-funded accounts so that all of these institutions, all of these banks, all of these people can have working capital. Okay, really quick, Ripple just emphasizing their $250 million, $250 million creator fund focused on building for tokenization, facilitating functional NFTs on the XRP ledger, sharing that they have Wave 2 recipients here, Cypher projects for music management, publishing, and production. Understand these can be NFTs. You can basically program smart contracts for royalties in real time that is trusted and automated. And we also have Capital Block 1, which is a specialist Web3 agency architecting long-term strategies built on fan engagement for sport and entertainment brands around the world, all on top of the XRP ledger. Yes, bear markets are tough. I agree with you. I'm sick of waiting too. We've been really from the all-time high of some altcoins, maybe from spring in, May and April, whereas there's others that maybe did hit their all-time high back in November last year. Either way, it has been 1 year to almost 2 years of a bear market, and this too will pass. So at this point, you can place your bets, and this is not financial advice, but we will get a retracement eventually. Have we bottomed? Do we have lower to go? There are so many catalysts. I know the future of the economy today, overall, the masses believe it's going to be very, very bleak. So I'm just looking for future-proofing projects that have millions of dollars in funding to survive the future. And also, guys, once I get back to Puerto Rico, I'm going to do an in-depth price chart video for XRP, Casper, and a few others, and show you potential scenarios that I see and where I believe some of these altcoins are today. I saw Dreadbongo going over a perfect crypto summary. We have MetaMask begins collecting user data. So when you have a transaction, MetaMask, the crypto wallet for Ethereum and connectivity to other chains, is tracing your IP address. So I know, some people it might bother them. I agree because it goes against the initial ethos of crypto. I'm not surprised at this point with our current government, by the way, but it's definitely upsetting. So if you do not want your transactions on MetaMask to be traced and they know where your location is, your IP address, I would recommend just using a VPN. And that's one way around it for now. We also have Binance, the largest exchange, creating $2 billion as a crypto recovery fund. We have SBF, a complete joke, Sam Bankman-Fried to be a guest speaker at the NYT events. I can't believe it. I don't understand how this guy is not in jail. We also have Google investing $1.5 billion in blockchain businesses. Surprise, surprise. We know Bank of America has plans to actually leverage on-demand liquidity as well for XRP. And of course, this is a long-time Ripple partner. People said that we were speculating. No, they were in the documents years ago, even before they made the announcement that they are partnered with Ripple. We also have, remember, Bank of America has some of the highest numbers of blockchain patents as well. Binance, I guess, I have not confirmed this, so please check. Binance uses same auditor as FTX. Yikes. Remember that FTX also was leveraging a CPA firm in the metaverse for an audit, which was just very silly. And also we have Genesis reported to have $2 billion in outstanding loans. If Genesis does go under, that could be another black swan event and lead to cascading effects, just like the death spiral of Terra Luna. So we do have to be aware of different risks. The thing is, during March 2020, there were risks. There were FUD points. Once Bitcoin fell to 3 to 4K, everybody said, we are going to $800. We are going sub $1,000 for Bitcoin, no doubt. So me, I don't know exactly where the bottom is to the exact wick, but guess what? I can have cash in and I can have cash out, and I'll be making the most of it. Now we have Casper Labs sharing this. So Hyperledger, remember, Ripple, Quant, huge organizations are on the Hyperledger Foundation. We have a webinar featuring the CTO and co-founder of Casper, Meta Parlikar. And what's very interesting is that Hyperledger said this verbatim, and this is huge. Find out how Hyperledger member Casper Labs is poised to realize $3 trillion in value from blockchain-based use cases over the next decade. This is a very bold prediction, unlocking a $3 trillion market for businesses. And another example of projects during the bear market incentivizing building, and they have money to survive the years ahead. We can see Casper, the launch of the Casper Accelerate Grants Program, $25 million fund supporting developers and innovators building on Casper Network. This program will run for 3 years for projects building applications to support infrastructure, end user applications, and research and developments. So we can see infrastructure, dApps, decentralized finance, gaming, and NFT projects. And yes, there are Fortune 500 companies that already have NDAs with Casper, roughly 45 NDAs last time it was confirmed. And remember that Casper will be presenting at Davos in Switzerland yet again at the Blockchain Hub side by side some of the largest organizations in the world. This will be January 16th to the 19th. And last year they presented during the Blockchain Hub in Davos, Switzerland, where Casper is also based out of, wink wink, side by side with IBM, demonstrating cross-chain atomic swaps of fungible and non-fungible tokens using the Hyperledger fabric. And now you notice that Hyperledger again is saying that they're going after $3 trillion to unlock. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I do expect some exciting news related to NFTs during Davos. Remember that Casper is the only Layer 1 blockchain in existence that offers upgradable smart contracts and upgradable NFTs. This is game-changing. And also, linked down below is iTrustCapital. If you use that link and you do fund your account, because there's no monthly fees whatsoever, you'll get a $100 funding reward. You can see complete transparency. There is no upfront fee. There is just a 1% transaction fee, just like using Coinbase, but for a self-directed IRA, where you can have tax-free advantages of investing and trading in the crypto market and also precious metals. So 0% in capital gains if you leverage different vehicles such as a Roth IRA. And I know a lot of people say 401ks are a joke, and you're right. And I got a 401k, I did the company matching just like everybody else with my typical 9 to 5 after college, and I had a lot of money in there, and it was growing because we had a 10-year bull run in the stock market, don't get me wrong, but I realized that I'm not going to be free with that amount of money. Now, some of it, if you're early with a Roth IRA, absolutely, you can become a millionaire, but it will take a couple decades, unfortunately, or several decades, depending on your age, depending on the market, and I realized early on, I wanted to put some money to work in another type of investment vehicle, specifically in the crypto market, because the risk reward is a lot more intense, but the asymmetric returns could be life-changing. So for example, in the stock market, maybe you can find a 10xer, but in the crypto market, during a bull run, for those that have experienced a real bull run or have caught real gems that have gone 50x or 100x, it is a lot more possible in crypto. And of course, using a Roth IRA, it is 0% in capital gains taxes, rather than paying 15% or 37% plus even more when all is said and done. So I already had money trapped in a 401k with my employer. When I left, I got that money, I put it into crypto. I did the same thing with one of my Roth IRAs as well that used to be with Vanguard. It was just a typical Roth IRA, S&P 500 index for the most part. Then I was with another crypto provider, but they were expensive, and now I'm with iTrustCapital. So this will be linked right at the top of the YouTube video description. Stay tuned for future videos. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you in the next one.